Remember when we said we'd stay together now until forever? Just us, just us. It's what you're doing, making me feel like I'm falling. And when you're moving, I can hear my calling.
I am the queen here. Okay, I am ready to become that diamond leader. I'm showing up as if I own the company right now. I am owning this energy. I am Queen Bee. If you show up like that, guess what changes? Everything. Everything. When you feel insecure, it's like so funny to see, because when you feel insecure, it shows in your body language. It shows how you show up. And so when you're insecure and like talking and doing things, people feel that through the videos. That's why I said energy matters. Like, I can pretty much sell ice to an Eskimo, right? With the energy that I have, because I'm good at it. Like,
okay, so that's something that sets you apart from the average person who joins an MLM. Like, they say, if I can do it, anyone can do it, but not everyone has that type of energy to bring to the table. Not everyone could sell ice to an Eskimo. Some people are socially awkward. Some people just simply don't want to be that girl who could sell anything to anyone. In my opinion, in order to be a good salesperson within an MLM, it's almost impossible to not be manipulative in some way. And some people just don't have that in them. Like, whether intentionally or unintentionally, if you have to convince someone that what you have is exactly what they need, you're going to be manipulative to an extent, because there are other options out there that could be better for that person. But since you're with this company, it's your job to convince them that this is the best one for them.
Like, I can convince you to do anything because I'm just good at it. I'm literally so confident in everything I'm saying. It's like,
she just said, I could convince you to do anything because I'm so good at it. That, like, I need a red flag. Somebody give me a red flag. I need to order one on Amazon. That's a huge red flag. Like, she just admitted to the people that she's trying to convince to do something that she could get them to do anything. That's like some cult-like mentality, in my opinion.
It's like, yes, this is all great. Same thing with my videos. I own it. Even if I don't feel 100%, I'm like, no. I am Queen Bee and I got this. And I go out there and I execute. So when you're building your confidence, one, it starts with your mindset and your belief. Are you or are you not? Because that's where you're going to go. But also, to build your belief and build your confidence, you've got to do what you said you're going to do. So in the beginning, in the first few videos, it might not be 10 out of 10. It might be a 5 out of 10. And shoot, it might be a 2 out of 10. We have to allow ourselves to, that practice makes perfect. If your child made their bed and it was like really bad, you're not going to go in there and be like, are you stupid? Do you not understand that you should pull your blanket up? No, you're not going to say that.
They always use this manipulative tactic on us. It was like,
would you look at your kid and tell your kid that they can't do it? That they're never going to be successful in whatever it is they want to be successful in? Would you look your kid in the eye and say that to them?
Well, obviously not. Like, any good parent would not do that. Their thing with that was like, if you couldn't look your kid in the face and say the things that you're saying to yourself about being successful, then you shouldn't be saying them to yourself. Which I agree in the sense that, like, you know, I would never tell my child that they couldn't do something that they set their mind to. But as an adult, thinking logically, using logical reasoning, productive reasoning, I don't know, using my reasoning skills, being a realist, I know that the reality is that most people are not successful in MLM. So telling myself, yeah, this probably isn't for me, I should probably just give it up, is just being real with myself. It's being realistic and understanding of the fact that I likely will not succeed, and that there's no point in wasting more of my life, wasting more of my family's time, wasting more of my family's money on something that will likely not work for me.
So when you made a video of yourself, you're not going to be like, are you stupid? No, it's your first time, dude. It's not going to be perfect. So just allow that. And then do it again, and it's going to get better. The first time you drove a car, your parents were pretty sure that you were going to kill them, okay? They were positive. You sucked at driving. However, all of you do it almost every single day.
These semis just give no Fs. They're relentless. But true story, I told Chad that he's going to have to be the one to do all of the driving with the kids when it comes to that time, because I mentally will not be able to handle it at all. Like, I don't know how my mom did it, because my mom did it when my stepdad was deployed and he was gone for a long time, and she dealt with all of that. I just simply could not. I remember one time I was driving and my mom was like, okay, let's switch, because we were getting like to a busy road, and that was like right when I started driving. Well, your girl had no clue that you cannot put the car in park when you're still moving. So I was still moving, but like at a very, like I had touched the brakes and I was like coming to a stop, and I was like at the very end of my stop, but I put it in park before I was completely stopped, and it sounded like the engine fell from underneath of us. So I will not be dealing with that when it comes to our kids. Chad has that in the bag. You can do that, honey.
And you're doing the damn thing. Like nothing's happened to you, right? You're killing it. Same thing with riding a bike or learning to walk or learning to talk or running this business. It's practice makes perfect. So if you don't start doing it, you're not going to get better. If you don't go live, you're never going to get better. If you do not start recording yourself speaking, you're not going to get better. If you allow your anxiety to rule your life, you are not going to get better. It is going to control you and consume you, and you're going to stay in the barrel, the bottom of it. So start taking control about that. Get loud about your story and get loud about your product results. How many of you guys do not have your product results? I'm calling you out. Put it in the chat. Say me. And if you already have your results, I just want you to go ahead and put a 7.
This is their form of public humiliation, which is a common cult tactic that leaders within cults will use in order to manipulate the people in the cult and or MLM to do what they want them to do. In this case, it's my opinion that what she wants them to do is to buy products so that it can increase her volume, so they can have their own before and after photos to share with the world.
Because if you don't have product results, sister, why not? Why should somebody buy from you? Do you love the product or not? Start using it. Share your results. Get serious. The best thing you can do for your business is be a product of the product and show people like, dude, I look freaking amazing because I've been taking whatever it is that you're using. And maybe it's not just the weight loss products. Maybe you're getting toned. Cool. Talk about that. Maybe it's skincare. Cool. Talk about that. I don't care what it is. Use something we have and talk.
I don't care what it is, because no matter what it is, it builds my paycheck as long as you're using something.
Talk about it. And also, if you're in a position, if you don't have weight to lose, then tone up. Show people how to tone up a gym result before and after. You're using the protein. Show people how you're healthier, how you feel. That's another way that you can create a testimony. Like, I have so much energy, I have mental clarity, I have no brain fog because I drink the cold brew. Or maybe I've gotten so much more muscle because I use this protein and I use this greens powder, so I'm never sick. Whatever it is, talk about it. Create a testimony. People need to see the testimony. Think about this, you guys. When people have their own before and afters, it makes it so much more believable and so much more fun to want to get in on that, because you're like, if that did that for you, I want in. I want in. How many of you follow, like, maybe not everybody because everybody's not into this topic, but like a fitness influencer? Somebody who like is super, super shredded, and you're like, I want to look like that. And they're like, this is what I do. And you're like, got it, I'm doing it. I'm going to add that to my routine. I know all of you guys have booty workouts saved to your Instagram right now, whether you've done that or not. Like, I know they're saved. And you're like, I'm going to do that, okay? Because she has a giant butt and you want your butt to look like hers. And that's why you save the dang thing. So let me just tell you, if you have results, people are going to want to do the exact same thing. Exactly. Meet a college queen eating, I'm telling you.
She's not wrong. But this is the type of stuff that promotes the diet culture and the pressure to produce before and after photos. And that's when all of these people, all of these distributors start doing things that they wouldn't normally do, some very unhealthy practices in order to produce those before and after photos. And you guys know that's a huge problem of mine, because they still use my before and after photo where that was happening to me. I felt the pressure to produce good before and after photos, so I wasn't eating enough. I was working out obsessively. Like, it gets under my skin to hear people like her say, like, you have to have these before and after photos in order to promote your product, because I know the pressure I felt to produce the before and after photos, and I know that's what she's putting on her team who was on this call.
I love that girl. I I'm a cult fan, okay, of her. Like, I am in her cult because I'm obsessed with her. And so when it comes to like,
she's been talking about cults a little bit too much during this call to not recognize that she may or may not be in one.
Doing what somebody says, I'm gonna do what they say. So start creating that in your brand and in your influence, because people want to see that. They just want to see the side of you that's like open. They don't want to see the perfect part of you. They don't want to see the copy paste part of you. They just want to know who you are. Do you do something that's weird? Why don't you share that? Do you have like a certain like thing that makes you tick? Let's share that. If you have like a story, why don't you share that? I want you to think of yourself for 1 second and envision yourself. Where do you guys want to be? Can we please put that in the chat? Like, do you want to be diamond, double diamond, triple diamond, wherever you want to be? Can you please put that on there? 50, diamond, prez, ambassador, triple, ambassador, double, diamond, diamond. I just want to ask you something. If what you did like right now, okay, what you did today, is that how a diamond would show up? A double diamond, a triple diamond, a presidential diamond, top 150, an ambassador?
Maybe not, but the way that you guys promote your MLM, you promote it in a way that anyone can do it. Like, I've paid off $150,000 in debt, and you can too with just an hour a day. You fail to mention the part where if you want to get to where I'm at and make as much money as I am, you have to work every waking moment of your life and have tons and tons and tons, hundreds, maybe tens of thousands of people underneath of you to get you there. You guys just conveniently leave that part out.
You have to show up for what you want. And I understand that sometimes it's really hard because you're like, well, I said I wanted to be diamond, but my volume's 300 volume right now. Or maybe you're like, I want to be ambassador diamond, but I'm not even diamond yet. Okay. How can you get to that position? It's by setting an attainable goal right now. What can you do before the month end? And do not tell me you're going to enroll 10,000 volume by the end of the month. That's not attainable. I want you to make an attainable goal. And this is
10,000 by the end of the month. I mean, I don't know what day this was recorded, but 10,000 by the end of the month was not like totally unheard of. There were moments where my team was on fire and we could enroll like 20,000 in 1 month. That's not uncommon. I know a lot of top leaders who were like,
I needed 160,000 in volume in 1 month, and by the end of the month, we somehow came out with it.
Oh, I don't know, because we were incentivizing personal orders or encouraging people to buy their bonuses, maybe.
It's gonna create confidence within yourself. And sometimes when you've fallen off the wagon, you need to just set something that you can achieve so that you can learn to believe in yourself again. And so this means you start taking action every day that's going to build up to what is going to absolutely transform your business, what's going to get you to ambassador diamond or to double or whatever it is. So that might mean you make that attainable goal for the end of October, and then I want you to make another goal for November, and then another goal for December, and I want you to smash it. And these goals should stretch you, but not kill you. Please write that part down. It should stretch me, but not kill me. So if you're in a position where you're like, I've never been diamond before, what's gonna stretch you? What have you not done for so long that you need to do? Maybe that's you don't do the KPI every day. Maybe it's you're a copy and paster. You need to create content that's better. Maybe it's you need to start being a leader. Maybe you need to show up more. Maybe it's, well, I need to do more self-development. I need to learn how to become a leader. Whatever it is. Then I want you to start doing those things. Better and better, you get better at it. And then eventually, week after week, you add one more thing and you improve. It's funny how sometimes we show up at the bare minimum and then we wonder why I'm not promoting. And then that's
because when I joined this business, I went in with the understanding that I could work it into the pockets of my day. You never revealed the fact that, like, if I only work it in the pockets of my day, I'm still going to be losing money. So that's why I'm confused, because I'm doing the bare minimum that you told me I could do to get to where you're at, and that's not working out.
That's going to leave you to where I was when I was a triple diamond, wondering is this even for me? Can I get anywhere? Can I go beyond this? Of course I can. It's just simply me making the choice to go ahead and make that happen. I love that, Desmond. I do that in the morning. Valuable content. Yes, yes, yes. You guys, really quick, why is it hard for you to create content? Can you drop that in the chat for me real quick?
Similarly to the reason I gave earlier, the reason it's so hard to create content when you're in an MLM is because, one, most of the people in the MLM are not making money. So it's hard to convince someone to join you when you're not making any money. So you feel like you have nothing to post about because all the people who are posting about making money are recruiting people, but you're not making any money. So how are you going to recruit anyone? That's one of the things. The second thing, it's really hard to get passionate about like mass messaging people and convincing other people that that's easy and that's all you have to do in the MLM. Like, how do you convince your team that this business is easy, but easy consists of mass messaging 500 people a day? It's hard to create content around something that you're like forcing yourself to be passionate about. The reason it was so easy for me to make content was because, one, I was on my own fitness journey and I truly was using the coffee and the greens. So I had a story to tell, but also the fact that I already had a little bit of a following built around my fitness journey. And so creating content that I was already creating before was easy. And then I just took little snippets of me taking my coffee or my greens or mixing them up or whatever. So I didn't have to do much different. But for people who are just coming in blindly and they don't have that following already built, it's really hard to just come up with content from scratch, especially if you aren't like a social media person.
What makes it challenging for yourself? The captions, the anxiety of what? What is stressing you out? What's giving you that anxiety? Perfectionism, don't know what to post about, consistency, creative ideas, self-discipline, sticking with it. Can't stick with the niche. Let me tell you, if y'all would just come up with your 5 pillars, you would not wonder what you should post about. And you want to know, everybody here is like, oh, I don't have, okay, so somebody just said that. Wow, I don't have creativity. Yeah, you do. You're just suppressing it. You're afraid to allow that thing to come out of the box. How do I know that? Because that was me.
That doesn't mean that that's the case for everyone. Like some people, I just have a sarcastic sense of humor and I feel like it's easy for me to come up with like TikTok ideas and TikTok content because I have a sarcastic sense of humor built into me. Like I have that creative mind that just thinks outside of the box. Some people don't have that. Some people think within the lines and it's really hard to get their mind outside of that. And that's okay. That's just who they are as a person. But you can't sit here and say that every single person has the same creativity that you do. They just need to let it out. There are times that I come up with content ideas and then my friends will be like, how did you even think of that? And it's just the way that my mind works. I just have a creative mind. I love creating things, but some people don't. Some people are more into like science and computers. Like they're not on the creative end of things. I don't even know if that makes sense, but I hope you guys know what I'm trying to say.
I am not a normally creative person. I'm not artistic. I don't have really crazy out of the box, like cool ideas. I do not thrive in that environment. But you know what I do know? I do know how to recognize what's working, see somebody else having success, and spin it off and to make it myself. And I get into a zone. How many of you guys have ever gotten into the zone when you're cleaning? Like you said you're going to wipe the counters, but then like 5 hours later, now you're like organizing your junk drawer in the upstairs bathroom. That's called like you're in a zone. Okay. So when you're creating content.
Another good Hunsplain moment for us. That's called in the zone, you guys. That's what that's called, in case you didn't know. Technical terms here.
Get in the zone. How do you do that? You start by making a few TikToks. I save TikToks throughout the week and I batch create enough for a week at one time. So throughout the week, I will save about 2 to 3, maybe 4 a day. And then I will go through at the end of the week and record all those TikToks. I get into the zone and all of a sudden it's like I have these ideas that are running through my mind. Does anybody else have that? Like but it takes you getting there first. Like I have to be like, all right, I'm doing content for 2 hours. Don't bother me. Then I'm like, the first like 30 minutes, I'm just like being super lame. But then like the next 30 minutes, it's like boom, 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 idea after idea. And I'm like so excited and I'm killing it and I'm changing outfits. I'm sweating.
I too have that. I don't change outfits, but like when I'm recording a video, the first video that I film for the day, aka this one, my mind feels kind of like blank and I'm not like in my groove yet. And so I don't have a lot of like the best things to say. But then like the next video that I film, I'm more like relaxed and comfortable. And so my mind just flows and goes where it goes. Poet didn't even know it. But I deal with that same exact thing. I feel like it's equivalent to like writer's block for authors and writers. Like they get in this headspace where they just can't put anything on the paper. But once you put something on the paper, it just starts flowing after a while. And I feel like it's equivalent maybe.
And I'm just doing it. But it's basically you just have to get into that moment, that zone, and like go for it. And so just do it. And you'll get better at it, honestly. And just go off of people that are having success. And it's not even just it works people. Like I find any way to like create something in my brand and talk about it more. So, okay, somebody said, well, it's hard for me to post life posts because I haven't gone Ruby yet. Well, sister, why? Maybe it's...
I don't know. Maybe, just maybe, because you have to have distributors in order to go Ruby. And she just told you it's hard for her to create life posts because she's not making any money. AKA she hasn't gone Ruby yet. So she needs to make the money in order to recruit the people in order to go Ruby. It's not rocket science. But of course, this is going to turn into a shaming session.
Why haven't you gone Ruby? You're the only person that's holding yourself back. If you wanted it bad enough, you would make the sacrifices to make it happen.
It's time for you to own that. Don't make a post about why you suck. Please don't do that. But go in there and say, I'm going to go Ruby in the next 90 days and force yourself to stay disciplined, hold yourself to it, and do it. That's really all it is. It's just a self-discipline. It's not that you can't do it. You can do it. Anybody can hit Ruby. It's just 3 legs at 400 volume. And altogether you have 2.
It's not just 4 legs, or not just 3 legs at 400 volume. You need additional volume. I think you need 2,000 maybe, and 3 legs at 400 volume. If you do the math there, that's only 1,200. So you need an additional 800, I think. I know that it's at least like 1,800, 1,500 maybe, but like 3 legs at 400 is not going to get you there. You need additional volume, which, might I add, is very hard to get on your own unless you have your entire team working, which is not in your control. So she's like, if you want it, you can do it. Nothing's holding you back but you. Like anyone can get to Ruby. No, because if you're enrolling people who aren't also working and passionate about what they're doing, it's very hard to get the volume that you need to go Ruby. And that's part of the problem with the business structure, is that you constantly have to rely on the people underneath of you in order for you to make an income.
2,000 volume, that's not a hard task. You just got to be disciplined to make it happen. That's it. It's so simple. And when you do that, you know what's crazy? All of a sudden, you're going to believe that you can actually go Emerald and that you're worth more than what Ruby is.
That is true. And that is very toxic as well, because you get to your first rank. So I got to Ruby and I was like, wow, I made $500. If I can do that, then I can surely go Emerald, Diamond, Double Diamond. I could be at the top of this company. So it instills that belief in people to where they hang on forever. I knew people who were in for like 8 to 10 years. They've left now and gone to the non-MLM MLM, but like 8 to 10 years and never got past Ruby. Ruby's the like first rank in the company that's like $500 a month. I'm using a lot of air quotes today. They never made it past Ruby, but they stuck around for 8 to 10 years because they're constantly being told that if they just believe in themselves, their time is coming. They just need to do what it takes consistently, and then they just go blaming themselves. I'm not being consistent enough. I'm going to be consistent this year. And then that year happens, they go Ruby again, they maintain their rank, and then conference comes around and they're like, oh, I can definitely go Diamond. And then they don't do it. And then they're told, if you just believe in yourself, if you're just consistent, and then conference comes again and they get that fire lit again. It's just this never ending cycle.
It's just going to take you to believe yourself, go executive first. And then you're going to know, okay, I can hit Ruby. And then you're going to go Ruby. And then the next thing you know, you're going to be on your road to Diamond because you just saw yourself go do that. Your discipline, I'm going to tell you what Meredith told me this weekend. And this is for the leaders too. I want you to hear me on this. They literally said, she said, I can help you with your skills. I can help you with any skill issue. I cannot help you with the will issue. If you struggle with having discipline, if you struggle with the will, you do not have a reason that hurts you enough to force you to do it. For me, when I started, I had a lot of pain that I needed to release. And that was, I was tired of not being able to put food on the table. I knew my lights were going to get cut off. I knew that we were going to have to move back in with my parents. I knew that I was going to lose my house if I did not get my ass to work. I had pain that I could not live with. I knew Christmas was coming, and I knew I wouldn't be able to afford it. That's a pain that I did experience. I knew that before I started this, I couldn't afford my daughter's birthday cake. I had to buy a generic one, put me in debt, couldn't afford it.
God forbid you buy your kid a generic birthday cake. I'll tell you one thing. I can guarantee you your daughter does not remember what kind of birthday cake you gave her. She only remembers that she spent her birthday with you. Who cares if it's a generic cake? I feel like once these people start getting money, they start like embracing all of these materialistic things and then adding to their sob story as the time goes on. So like that generic cake wasn't an issue back then. It was just like, okay, we have to buy her a generic cake because I don't even know what she means by generic cake. Like a cake is a cake, no? She's like, we had to buy a generic one because we couldn't afford it. We need to buy something we can afford. And then now that she's making money and she's getting all these materialistic things, it's like,
oh my gosh, I can't believe I ever had to buy my child a generic cake.
We've gotten all of my kids' birthday cakes at like Walmart or Schnucks, the grocery store here. Like, I didn't know that that made me a bad mom. I didn't know that that meant that I'm broke. I mean, we are a little bit broke. But even when we weren't, we always bought our cakes there. Who cared? They're delicious.
I couldn't afford a smash cake. My first daughter's first birthday. That's a pain I never want to experience again. I will not allow that to happen ever again. What is paining you so hard? What is it? When are you going to get sick of it? Like, when is that going to be like, I am over this right now? The fact that Christmas is literally going to be here in like less than 2 months. And how's Christmas looking for you? Are you scared? Are you stressed? Are you like, I don't know how I'm going to be able to afford this? Does that not pain you? Find something that literally hurts when you think about it. That
may pain someone, but what would pain someone more is not being able to spend the time with their family around the holidays. Like maybe it hurts to have to put some of your Christmas presents on a credit card. But to me, what would hurt worse is taking that time away from my family to like dive headfirst into this MLM that may or may not actually make me any money to pay for Christmas. That hurts way worse than having to put Christmas on a credit card, in my opinion.
That you would cry about. And then I want you to put that pain and that rage into your business and go all in. Some of you are channeling your anger in the wrong direction. If you use that anger and that pain into your business, you would be an ambassador in like 5 minutes. You're raging in the wrong spots. Let it fuel you. Somebody pisses you off, good. Go sign a customer. Somebody's upsetting you. Your bills are due. Now you're going into debt. Your credit card's the highest it's ever been. Good. Let it fuel you. I'm just going to give you a piece of advice, and then we're going to be done here tonight. But if you've ever known what happens, does anybody know what happens in network marketing when we have a recession? Has anybody ever heard of this?
I don't know for sure, but what I would guess is when there's a recession, a bunch of people try to join MLMs with the hopes of being able to pay for the things that they need. But on the flip side, that also, I would assume, would mean that people aren't spending their extra money on things that they don't necessarily need, aka products. My guess would be that there would be this influx of distributors, but the customer side would be drastically decreasing. But they have those distributors to pour volume back into the uplines business.
Because we're going into a recession right now. Okay, people are right now, this very moment, people are starting to feel the effects, meaning credit cards are being used. So people used to be paying $100 a month on their credit card, but now it's only $80. And then another couple months, it's going to be $60. And then another couple months, it's going to be minimum payments. And they're going to be hurting because that 27% interest on their credit card is eating them alive. And if you are not in a position right now, like if you're not even working your business and you're like, that's actually me right now, I can't pay my minimum payment, that should be a pain point, and know that it's going to get much worse. And we are the solution for so many families that are going to be able to pay for their bills. They're going to put Christmas things under the Christmas tree. We're going to be able to bless other families this holiday season by what you do right now.
I think it's so frustrating to listen to for me because, like, my family is in a position where, full transparency here, my family's in a position where we are living paycheck to paycheck. So our Christmas presents likely will have to be on a credit card. And I'm okay with that. It doesn't bother me to the point where I'm going to do things that are not true to my heart just to pay for Christmas. But for some people, that absolutely breaks them. It kills them. So to think that she's openly telling people to go prey on those people who are vulnerable at that moment because they are desperate to pay for their Christmas in cash, like, and also knowing that they likely won't be able to pay for their Christmas in cash and that they likely will lose even more money and be in a worse mental state after joining the MLM. Like, it just hits a little bit harder, you know? Like, knowing what's happening on the inside and the lack of money being made, and then also being on the outside in the type of situation that she's describing is just a whole nother level of like blood boiling for me.
I will tell you, a pain point for me in my giving sense is looking at all the families that are going to be affected by this, and that there's going to be so many children on those angel trees this year that are asking for haircuts instead of gifts because their family can't afford anything. And because of this business, I can afford to sponsor every single child on that tree. Maybe it's your family that is considering an angel tree, and maybe you're the one who can solve all those empty angels in the tree this year by what you do right now. Maybe it's you helping other families after Christmas and finding them and teaching them you don't have to put another Christmas holiday on your credit card. You don't have to wait for taxes. You don't have to be poor. It is a choice.
I cannot with her. You know, I refrain from saying that I wish that these Huns would fail because I know that it would tear some families apart and really like do a lot of damage to families if, say, the MLM crumbled. But things like this, she needs to be humbled. She cannot sit here and say being broke is a choice when so many people, hundreds of people underneath of her are working themselves into the ground, hoping that someday it's going to pay off. But really, they're either breaking even or losing money with the MLM. That is not their choice. The MLM business structure is set up to fail. I just wish reality would just slap her across the face.
And maybe it's you that's going to spread the word and tell somebody that, and they're going to be able to change their entire life. Maybe it's a mom on your feed right now that's going to work, putting their baby in daycare at 6 weeks old instead of staying home and taking in all those first moments. Maybe it's you that allows her to stay home with her child. Maybe it's you that allows somebody to dream again. Maybe it's you that allows a family to go on vacation for the first time. Like, maybe you should stop being so selfish with your time, and maybe you should start thinking about how you can impact other people.
Selfish, babe. Really selfish? These moments have me like at a loss for words because the fact that she's sitting here manipulating so many people to think that they are selfish for not building her paycheck is just, I don't even know what to say. Like, how dare you? This is easy for you to say because you're at the very tip top of the pyramid. For the people who are at the bottom, I'm sure they are far from selfish. You know who's selfish though? You. Because you're sitting here manipulating all of these people and diminishing all of their self-worth, like telling them that they are being selfish for not offering this business opportunity to everyone they know so that you can build your paycheck. That is selfish. How? Like, knowing that the majority of the people on your team are not making any money, how do you sit here and tell them that they are selfish? That is beyond toxic.
Maybe it's not just about yourself anymore. Maybe you're supposed to be here to teach others to achieve their dreams. Maybe it's not about you just hitting $300 a month. Maybe you're meant to serve and teach people, which then in return will help you. Have you ever thought about that part of things? Like, you're keeping it to yourself and not spreading the word. And because of that, there is literally people that are suffering right now because in your market, in your social media following, that are silently struggling right now. Because you're not asking, you're not talking about it, you're not sharing your story. Let them connect to you. Get vulnerable, get loud. We're in a position where so many families are hurting and we have the solution. We have the solution right now. So Yes.
If you had the solution, the income disclosure statement would not tell people that 99% of them, like they have a 99% chance of failing. If you're the solution, like the solution for so many struggling families, the income disclosure statement would prove that. But newsflash, you're not. I'm sorry, I'm getting sassy because this is really making me heated. Like, I can't stand it. And we used to be told all the time, like, you're doing a disservice to people by not offering them this business opportunity. And I ate that shit up. But now it's like, humble yourself. Most people are not making anything.
I love that, Caitlin. And it's just so true, you guys. And it gets me really fired up because I know in this season right now, how many people are struggling and how many people are going to struggle. And if in this moment that I can have an impact on another family so that they don't have to struggle like that ever again, I'm going to do it. I am going to do it. That's all I have for you guys today. My team, make sure you guys book out in the morning. We have a new contest dropping first thing in the morning. I'm super excited to share it. So make sure you're paying attention to our team page, have the notifications on. We're turning this thing on fire, and there's so much more to come. You guys stay tuned, but I just want you to remember as you go through this week, it's 1% better every day. It is you choosing to get uncomfortable, to be afraid and do it anyway. That's going to change your entire business. Don't believe for one moment that the devil, when he tries to come after you this week and say, no, it's actually lied to you. It's for everyone but yourself, because I know that that's a thought that people will have. That's not true. You are the only one locking yourself in that box, and you're the only one with the key. You've got to unlock it. You've got to allow yourself to grow. You've got to allow yourself permission to go get what you came for. I hope you guys have an amazing week. I will see you guys later. Bye.
All right, you guys, that's going to wrap up today's video. I just can't stand the faith manipulation and just the overall manipulation that this girl spews on every single team call that she has. Like, how do you look at a group of like thousands of people on her team and be like, you should be ashamed of yourself because you're being selfish by not reaching out to people to tell them about this business opportunity, when the vast majority, 90% of those people are not making a livable income. I think that's so selfish of you to be doing to those poor people. Anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, be sure to give it a big thumbs up, hit the subscribe button, and turn on the post notification bell if you'd like to be notified every time that I post. If you'd like to join my Facebook group, it's called A Light at the End of the Pyramid. And of course, if you'd like to follow me on all social media platforms, you can find me at the Jessica Hickson. Once again, thanks so much for watching. I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye.
Moving slower. I don't know what it is you do. I've been looking at you all night, trying to